Welcome to The Story. I'm Pat Doris. We're starting our show today on the streets of Portland at the annual Veterans Day Parade because we want to say thank you, happy Veterans Day, and we want to honor all of you who've served. We've got a really great show for you. We're going to talk about the political races that are still being battled out. We're also going to introduce you to some amazing veterans. Ready? Let's go. Let's begin with this parade. This is the first time in 48 years it was not held along Northeast Sandy Boulevard. The past organizers put the parade on hold during COVID and then decided to step down. A new group took over and moved the parade to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, still in Northeast Portland. As in past years, today's parade included marching bands and military vehicles and, of course, military veterans. More veterans watched from the sidewalk. Virginia Kipper is a 100-year-old World War II veteran. She made maps during the war and appreciates those who come out now to celebrate veterans.
Great. More the merrier.
Scott Rice agrees. He spent 4 years in the Army.
I like that. I think it's a long time to do. I know the Vietnam vets, when they came back, there was nothing, and they were putting a spit on this stuff. Anyway, things have improved. Ever since Desert Storm, things have gotten a lot better.
There was a lot of admiration on this street today from both strangers and those who know and love veterans. Dee Lazatin is married to one.
I admire their service, their dedication, and their intention to protect us and service. And the fact that I'm married to one.
I also got a history lesson from veteran James Katovis, who served in the Marine Corps.
Well, today's Armistice Day. That emphasizes peace. That's when the peace treaty was signed in World War I.
Sure enough, here are the details from the Library of Congress. November 11th, 1918, the Allied powers signed a ceasefire agreement with Germany in France. It ended World War I and later became Veterans Day. Veterans, of course, are our big story today. The Department of Veteran Affairs reports there are roughly 167,000 World War II veterans still alive today. That's out of 16 million who served with America in the war. One of the oldest lives right here in the Portland area. I got to meet him last week. Bud Millard loves a good game of competitive bridge. Each week he spends at least an hour here, matching wits and luck against his fellow residents at Mary's Woods, a senior living community in Lake Oswego.
Got it.
Bud is a World War II veteran. How old do you think he is?
I still believe in looking at a good-looking woman.
Yep, he's that old. He's old enough to get away with saying exactly what he's thinking.
6 weeks, I'll be 103, if God lets me live.
Does it sound big to you?
Yeah, it does. It sounds huge to me, and it's a miracle. And I'm probably one of the most blessed men alive today.
How old do you feel?
I would say probably in my 90s.
That's pretty good.
Mentally, not that old. Mentally, I'm still in my 50s.
Recent pictures show he has not lost his zest for life. Bud's involvement in World War II started on December 7, 1941. That's the day the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. As much of the country reeled over the attack and the impending war, Bud felt the thrill of future adventures.
Well, for me, it was an exciting day because I was going to be trained to be a pilot, and that was very exciting for a 21-year-old.
Born into a Jewish family, he was eager to fly into battle in Germany and personally take the fight to the Nazis. Bud learned to fly 4-engine and 2-engine bombers. But fate held a different path for him. While hospitalized with an illness, his unit was sent to North Africa to fly P-38 fighters. When he recovered, Bud was sent to California.
I was transferred to the Southern California Defense Department, and my job was to alert the airfields in Southern California to arise when incoming Japanese flights would come in. However, that never developed, and after that, my duties were to calibrate radar for England. They badly needed the radar, and we calibrated that off the coast of California, and at the same time did submarine duties in a pre-war bomber called the B-18,
but there was plenty of flying to do stateside. After 4 years, he left active duty, but remained in the reserves for another 16.
Well, it was my duty. It was my duty to serve. I enjoyed my time in the military. The camaraderie that you found, I knew it was fighting for our beliefs, and it was a job. But after the job was done, my flying was done, I couldn't wait to go home, get married, have children, have a home.
And so he did. His first marriage to his wife Adele lasted 50 years before she died from cancer. His current marriage to Catherine is 25 years old and going strong.
I'm one happy man.
Tens of thousands of proud American flags dotted the square, and as the day wore on...
Looking back now, he remembers the feeling of America, united to face a world at war.
But at that time, we were as one nation. There was no dissension among the patriots in the United States, and it's kind of sad for me today to see how divided our nation has become and how patriotism is thrown out the window. And it's a disturbing thing, disturbing.
Do you feel that veterans are appreciated these days in America?
Yeah, I think the majority of Americans who still remain patriotic, yes, they do appreciate the veterans, and very often I'm complimented on my service as I compliment others for their service too.
After living much of his life in California, Bud and Catherine moved to Oregon and Marys Woods, where he is just now beginning to slow down a bit.
I gave up water aerobics when I was 101. I gave up driving when I was 101.
He misses that freedom of driving.
Well, I was still 21 in that picture.
But he tries to look forward, not back. Bud credits good genes, regular doctor visits, and a moderate lifestyle to his longevity. He's keeping his brain sharp, playing cards with the ladies, and doing crossword puzzles. And where do you go from here?
Well, hopefully to heaven. No, I take a day at a time and get the most out of each day. I enjoy the changing trees, the colors. I enjoy the music that I hear each day. I enjoy the people that I meet with each day. I enjoy the time I have with my wife. I'm just totally blessed and very happy.
Now, there are as many veteran stories as there are veterans, and I know not all are as upbeat as Bud's, but I found him really inspiring. I hope you do too. While we're talking about veterans, I thought it'd be good to take a look at where they are living in the Northwest. This is Washington State, which had 561,000 veterans in 2019. This is a map put out by the VA. The darker color shows more density of the veteran population there. And here's a look at Oregon, which had more than 303,000 veterans as of 2017. By the way, the color might be a little misleading on both maps because it's done as a percentage of the county's population, and the big cities will have much higher population. So it looks like there are not as many veterans when there actually might be a lot, but they're just diluted because of all the other people who are also there. And check this out. The Morrison Bridge is lit up in red, white, and blue for Veterans Day. The Convention Center is also lit up for the night. And a widely cited statistic from the Veterans Administration says that about 22 veterans die by suicide every day. It's kind of hard to believe. And in fact, the accuracy of that number has been called into question in recent years. But you know what? Even one death is too many. And as photojournalist Kurt Austin shows us, one group is spending this Veterans Day doing what they can to understand the burdens our veterans face.
Yeah, and all day, this is Veterans Day.
I'm ready for the ruck, 2.2 miles, 22 pounds.
This is 22 pounds.
Right.
Yep.
Today is Ruck 22. It's a day to not just celebrate Veterans Day, but to also acknowledge and help raise the awareness for veterans suicide.
It feels like I have a toddler on my back. Yeah. But I think that pales in comparison to the weight that our veterans carry.
I've seen the emotional toil, and toll that things take on people sometimes.
Carrying 22 pounds, that represents the 22 veterans that are committing suicide each day.
It's a lot.
My name is Chad Brown. I'm a Navy veteran. Desert Storm and also Operation Restore in 2 wars, basically. Coming out of that, I was dealing with PTSD. 50% mentally disabled, and but I continue every day to fight, that fight, and for our fellow veterans.
We need to show as much honor and support and respect as we can to all of them. They have a lot of ailments.
Let's take one of these.
We're trying to bring the community out because what we need is that extension of support to help raise that awareness of veteran suicide and what's going on. And veterans need to see that, A lot of us fight this darkness by ourselves all the time.
All right, there we go.
We're off. Yep.
It's beautiful to see so many people come out and do it with us.
We're here to support them and let them know that no one fights that battle alone.
I know the challenges and struggles that our veterans face, and it's heartbreaking because they go and serve our country, our community. They're out there supporting us, and so to know that they come back and they struggle with some really challenging and devastating issues, and I think the more that we can do to bring awareness to veteran suicide, the more we can bring support to them. It's just going to be a service for humanity.
It's a hard walk. It really is a hard walk, A lot of us come back, we're not ourselves. We are not ourselves. We are a different person, but we still fundamentally have the need and desire of love.
Several races for seats in Congress are still close, but at least one Oregon seat appears to have flipped red. The latest election night results just ahead. And as we're heading to break, here's a comment about appreciating veterans from Jesse Rogers, who worked at KGW back in the early 80s.
I'm very grateful to them. I'm grateful to my parents. My father served in Korean War. My grandfather was in World War II. So there's been a lot of good things that always because of veterans. So I'm very grateful to them.